All right, so we are, well, sort of finished with conventional coding, but as we go along, I'll still point things out and so forth. But we arrive to where I want you to be, which is starting to use AI as your coding partner and as your workhorse. Um, when you code yourself, what you can do in 2, 3 hours of coding, AI can do in 2 or 3 minutes. And it does quite a job of it. So, in the old days, what I can tell you is well, not even old days. We say old, but old now means a year ago. AI was quite good with coding, but it made a lot of mistakes. And every month, the mistakes are less. And to a point where it's now every week, it improves. To a point where I'm sitting here right now in February 2026, where it's nearly become flawless in coding and errors. And in probably a year from now, it will be unheard of that AI create error code. So what I've got open in front of me is Kimi, and Kimi is really a LLM, and it's one of many. There's Grok, there's ChatGTP, Claude, many, many, many. I'm using Kimi because you get the most for your money out of it. Plus, the free plan will take you a long way. So, yes, we're going to use Kimi and we're going to then play around and look at coding microcontrollers for now. But please, you don't have to just use these principles for microcontrollers, right? You need these principles for websites, web applications, mobile applications, and so on. So, what you're going to learn, or what you already learned in many cases, is something you're going to drill in your mind when you talk to AI. For example, here's a way to get a microcontroller to do something like, let's say, buzz a buzzer. I can say something like, I am using an ESP32 with the Arduino IDE, and I want to make a buzzer buzz that is on, let's say, IO, input output pin. I think it's 47, I can't remember, but this is just a piece of code, and that's all I'm giving Kimi. And let's see what Kimi come up with. So there's quite a few different LLMs, and I would say play with them all. But here's what Kimi is busy doing. Just look at it, it's writing code for us. And frankly, I can copy this code and just paste it into the Arduino IDE, upload it, and the chances that it will work, I would say, is 90%. to 100% mostly true. So I'm looking at this. I can see a lot of comments. I see it's doing, there's a couple of things that it commented out that, and all right, so here's something else. All right, when you're going to create comments, you can actually put comments in front of your code. So that line of code is now a comment and will not run. This is great when you try to figure out problems in your code. Take that code, don't delete it, just comment it out with two front slashes, run it and see if it will work. But yes, there we go. It wrote something. It even shows me the wiring and so forth. So there we have it. We have a buzzer that will buzz. We can tell it to do a little bit more even. And we can say something like, and just note, all right, I'm doing these things in small steps, in small increments. Let's add to this to say, when the microcontroller starts up, play a sound like a reversing truck for 3 seconds. And just to be sure, you can say make sure it is part of the above code. All right. Yeah, good enough. So I'll hit enter and it will now continue and add that to the code for me. And we'll continue with that building until we have what we can call a full project. Next can maybe be as soon as the distance sensor sees that something is like 20 centimeters away from it, to make the buzzer sound some kind of a warning buzz. So now you're going to start combining things. And they added, and if you remember in setup runs only when your microcontroller starts up or when it's rebooted, and that's why this code in here is in the setup part. So it will only run when the microcontroller starts and not at any other time. All right, it even added things to your serial print. So if you have your computer open and you have serial monitor open, it will show you the code or the whatever is in serial, like ready, meaning the microcontroller is now ready maybe, and so on. But the interesting thing is at the bottom, it does give you quite a good explanation of what's happening. And then ideas on how to make it even better and for you to practice with. So there's a little bit of training in there if you want to do it, with ideas of practical exercises and so forth. Now we don't want to stop here, right? Because I do have a pinout script with all the pinouts. In fact, we even have master prompts to make it really giving us what we want. And in the next lesson, we will look at that in great detail. We're going to upload prompts and so forth. So from now on, you can just say, make the buzzer buzz instead of saying it's on whatever port it might be. So that's it. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.